So what I want to do today is the next 30 minutes tell you a story. I want to tell you the story how I used YouTube, how I used video to actually increase my revenue, to get more customers, but also to get more money from my existing customers. What I do is I build sales machines. I do two things. I build sales machines. Things like how do you set up a sales team? How do you go faster? How do you make your pricing? How do you acquire to upsell? All of those things, that's one side of my business. And the other side of my business is I sell software companies. And they go hand in hand. Because if you sell a software companies, you're talking about equity value. Equity value, how do you raise it? If you change your pricing model, for instance, right? Now, I see a lot of salespeople. And I used to be vice president of sales, head of global sales. And it's a tough job. So I tried to find a picture how to describe this, how I was feeling. And most sales guys I know. And it kind of looks like this. And what was I thinking the whole day long? I was thinking this. Sales is like swimming in a lake of rejection. My friends, this is the lake. Because you get no the whole day. So what I'm going to try to explain to you today is how to go from no to yes, how to reject the rejection. But first, you need to understand a bit of theory. What is that sales thing actually? If you look at a company, you always have three teams. I'll enlarge this quickly. You actually have three teams. You have a marketing that's going to generate leads. They're going to funnel that through to sales. And on the other side, once you've sold it, you have customer success. Are you using my product? Here are tips and tricks. You can use it this way. Very open. They will actually funnel sales and leads back to sales. So what is a sales? A sales is two things. A sales is on one hand responsible for the relationship. And relationship can be online. That's all the social stuff you know. That can be movies. It can be many things. It can be chatbots, AI, all of that stuff. But it all fits in relationship. But it also can be offline. I go and have a coffee with Jan. We build a relationship. He will trust me. He will buy from me. What's the second thing? It's all about the process. A sales process has several steps. And you need to go through those steps with a certain speed. Typically, one of those steps would be, I need to send a quote, then I need to discuss, then I need to give discount, then I'm going to get a quote. So I'll always be looking at what are those steps. Now, in order to understand what you do to sell, you need to understand how people are buying. This is what they call a customer buying journey. And I'll give you an example with something I've experienced myself. So I have an agenda for my company. And my wife also has an agenda for, let's say, the home agenda. So I just bought a piece of land, and I basically forgot to show up to the notary to sign for the piece of land because it wasn't in my agenda. So you can imagine the discussions I had at home, because it's hard to kind of go back to the notary. So I am aware of a big problem I need to solve. Second thing I'm going to do is what everybody does. I go to the most smartest person in the world, which is Google. And I go and ask, hey, how do I solve agenda synchronization? And then I'm going to get some tools, and I'm going to try a tool. I'm going to select a tool. And then what happens? This is a classic sales funnel, 1, 2, 3. But I don't like the tool. So what's going to happen? I'm going to go back to Google. And then Google doesn't give me a real good answer. I'm going to go to Lorenzo, and I'm going to go to David, and I'm going to go to other friends and ask them, what are you using? I'll try another one. I'll go back. Eventually, I select one, and then I'm going to use it. Now, as you're well aware, this is the most important slide of today, because here, in this slide, lays the magic. What is this? Anybody? I'll give you the answer. It's a big fat line. That was easy, huh? Hard questions are coming. But why is that a big fat line? Because here, for those who don't see it, everything there you cannot sell. But you cannot sell. Once you get here, you have to sell. So what do most companies do? What do most sales guys do? You've never met me. I walk up to her and I say, hey, you want to work with me? I cost 10,000 euro a day. And what is she going to do? She's going to go back and say, I don't trust you. I don't know you. I have no clue why you're even asking. You're arrogant, right? But that is what most companies do. Look at these websites. Buy now, buy here. And they start discounting. I have a sales problem. I have to discount. No, it's wrong. You cannot sell at that phase. So you need to educate, make people aware, and once they're ready to buy, you can sell. And how do you know they're ready to buy? If somebody asks me the question, how much does it cost? Hey, Michael, let's have a meeting to discuss, right? That's buying signals. Then I know I can sell. So now you've got a bit of theory. How do you implement that? The question is, when do you believe? When would you actually get to that point? Well, it's simple. There are two things you need to take care of. One is credibility, and the other is authority. You've seen today Gary Vee, you've seen David from Belgium. What do? They speak a lot. They write books. That's authority. Credibility, they've built a business. They've done it before. This is what makes people trust you. So, what's the topic now? How can you make thought leadership? How do you create it? Out of nowhere. 6 months ago, my dear friends, nobody knew me. So, I needed to do something that people would actually buy from me, that people would invite me to speeches like that I could be on a stage. And the way to do it, and I actually advise all of you to do this, is to build thought leadership. You can do it via writing, but video clearly, as you've heard today, is the most best medium. And then you say, yeah, but Michael, I work for a company. Why? It's the company that should do it. Well, how do you think? Do you buy from a company or do you trust and believe people? So actually, it's people in the company that you follow. If I post something on my name, people react, they do things. If I post something on Chaomatic, nobody moves. So I stopped doing that. If you look to Gary Vaynerchuk, it's Gary Vee. He happens to have a big, massive company. He talks about it, but it's a side thing, right? So let's rewind one step. What is your biggest issue? Come on, somebody. What's your current issue? All of you. 90% of all businesses I see, they have a problem. Anybody? Nobody knows you. Bam! I assure you, no animals were hurt you taking this picture. So nobody knows you. That's the first thing you need to fix before you can do anything. That's actually the awareness phase. So you need to get out there and do things, put yourself on a spot, put yourself in public so people can get it. So how did I figure that out? So this is February. These are my Google Analytics. You see 100. Very impressive numbers, right? So I'm talking about like, you know, that's 1, that's 5. So I was looking at this and I'm thinking, I'm like this freak. So every day I watch my website statistics because it's the only way to know if what I do has impact. All of us can talk about the top of the mountain, but that's nice. Everybody can talk about the top of the mountain, but it's how do you get there? How do you take the steps? What's the thing in front of you? So I realized that I got little peaks when I would do two things. One was speeches like this, and two was when I would write some content. So I was thinking, what if I put that to scale? So, be relevant. How can I make myself more relevant? And I'm not saying selling, I'm saying relevancy. Because you remember, awareness education is not selling, it's being relevant for people. Selling comes later. Actually, if you follow this, selling is going to be really easy. So, what did I think? Let's try a video. And you see suddenly you get interesting spikes. So what did I do? I did something because I saw it online. I really literally, in an office somewhere, I took my phone and I did a really cool thing. Hey, I'm Michael, I'm going to tell you some cool tips for doing presentations. You have to start somewhere, right? I'm very ashamed. You cannot find it anymore. Anyway, I just pictured. Very ashamed. But I did it. And I thought, let's put it out there. So I put it on different mediums. And suddenly, the amazing thing was that thing was watched like 3,000 times. And I'm thinking, what the hell? If I have a bad movie being watched 3,000 times, imagine I do it really well. Huh? So, I had some lessons. One, image quality. I get it. You can do stuff with a phone. But it's not nice, right? It's shaky and all that. And two, the sound. Sound is critical. So I love the, it's not good. So that's why I'm wearing a microphone, because sound is absolute key. So I said, let's go all the way. I want to get into production. I'm going to make a video every week. Because as you said, as you've seen, consistency is key. You want to make steps. And how do you do that? To set yourself a goal 1 time a week. So I said, me talking all the time is going to be tough. So why not build a show? Vlogging, filming, taping myself, not going to work. I'm going to invite guests, and when I have guests, I can actually steal their content. I'll ask them questions, and I'll actually look smart because I'm asking questions. These people are going to say very smart stuff. And the other thing I notice is when I post something, I get maybe my own audience. Let's say if I post a link into YouTube, I have like 3,500 followers, I'll get some likes or stuff. But if I take a guest, I get their audience too. So hey, I'm going to invite my competitors. I'm going to talk to them, make them smart, and in the meantime, all of their audience are going to see me, right? That's the idea behind it. So it was a sneaky way to get in. So I did the right way. I asked for a logo. I created the sales acceleration show, and we started going. But what's the first problem I encountered is focus. So my first one was I talked about everything. Sales, everything. But sales is a very, very large topic. So you need to tune. So when I do my consultancy with companies, I see the same thing happening over and over again. I ask them, show me your forecast, tell me where are you focused, where are you going after, and then they do this. Well, we kind of do insurance, fast-moving consumer goods, health, banks, and then you realize it's the goddamn world. It's not going to work, right? So you need to zoom into something, and preferably the smallest thing you can find, like a niche. Dominate a niche. That would be key, because you become so relevant that you then can expand. So, to do this, there are three critical components. One is focus. You need to know where you're going. That's the top of the mountain. That's what you're looking at every single day, saying the macro level, I need to get there. But in order to get there, you need to do two other things. You need to have a production system in place once a week. And I tell you, first 3 weeks, easy. But then you have other stuff, right? And then the 4th week, you have, ooh, and the 5th, ooh. And then I realized I'm not the right guy. I need to hire somebody, that guy. Or I need to consult, or I need to ask something. But you need to get that going. And then the third thing is speed. Be fast. Speed is critical. And the funny thing is, if you keep it up for a few months, you suddenly realize you have lots and lots and lots of content, because video also gives you podcast, and video also gives you images, and video also gives you content. So start with video. It does the whole thing in one go, right? So next thing you realize, well, I'm kind of out there. I'm in production. And then I love this thing of the art of creating problems. I also do this with sales machines, is that you can look at the top of the mountain, but to get there, you need to look in front of you and solve little steps. First step you have is you need to have the content. I'll talk about where can you find content if you have no idea. Everybody can make 10 movies, but then it starts. Where would I get more content that's valuable? Second thing is you need to productize it. So you need to make the movie. It needs to be cut in pieces, needs to be set. You have to have all the thumbnails. Then you get to distribution. So I put out a lot of movies, and then nobody was watching because I had wrong titles. I had these long titles. I didn't realize you had to have small titles. Huh? And then speed, because you want more. And then the last one is really scale. And scale is a combination of all of those. So that's how you build an efficient machine. So, to get back to speed, I do not believe that perfection is the thing to go after. I know so many companies, they spend 4 months building a website, and in that 4 months, some really ugly website, a competitor, all text, brought it out, and they took the market. So I believe in making, producing, and then iterating. So perfection is not the key, but speed is. So that was my first one. That was my second one. You see they're improving. Then I tried some Blackboard stuff. Already the image is becoming way better. The text is already coming way better. Then I started experimenting with crazy pictures, which really works. So if you go to the channel, you'll see a lot of crazy pictures because it works. And then we started even getting always a level better. And then we end up, this is the one before, where we really into all the logos and all the details are getting really spot on, right? And that is not because you cannot produce this from day one. You can produce it later. But just start going, figure out what your audience needs, figure out what works for you, because you need to be natural, and then move on. So, another thing, I call it the liking and sharing journey. So you start, you have some people watching, and then actually you realize that you have a lot of peaks and you're really happy. You know, we're like 1.5 months down the line and you have lots of likes and you think, yeah, I'm doing really well, but you actually have no business coming from it. Lots of likes. So what is that? It's all your friends. It's my mother. She likes it. She sent it to all her friends and everybody kind of likes it. And then something really strange happens. Suddenly all the love goes away. Nobody likes you anymore because your friends got bored of you, right? If you see the same guy over and over again, you kind of think, not today, he has enough likes, somebody else will clicking. And then all the love is gone, and then something really weird happens. And this takes about 2.5 months, and this will happen. I was walking through the street, a guy I haven't seen in 2 years walks up to me and says to me, "Hey Michael, you're doing great. I see you all over the place. It's really amazing what you're doing." And I'm thinking, this guy hasn't even liked one of my movies, he hasn't shared, he hasn't done anything, but he's seen it. And then suddenly, 2 weeks later, I got this peak, and actually the peak just continued. Because what happened there is I call that a silent mass, because that guy said to somebody else, "You need to talk to Michael. Watch the movie." And this thing works, but it takes 2 to 3 months to really get into that production. And you will have this dip. And then you'll try crazy stuff and you'll iterate and you'll think, "I'm doing it wrong." Forget it. Continue, tune, keep going. Try different ways, but keep going. I used to really walk a floor. I do a lot of work with Started. I would walk the floor, ask people, "What's wrong with this video? Why didn't you like it?" I'm in an open way, not like this, otherwise they would get scared. But I would say, and they would say stuff like, "Yeah, this color or that first thing, I don't know. And you said, Michael, 3 tips and you only say 2. And I'm like, damn, I need a script, right? Never thought about a script. But these are the little things that makes it perfect. So keep going, don't stop. Where do you get content? One, good example of Jan, I asked him, said, "What would be your tip to do?" Right? So you can ask others to get content. Funnily enough, in the beginning you have about content for 10 to 12 movies, then it kind of drops, and now you'll ask me questions. I get questions every day, and if I hear a question more than once, 2, 3 times, I'll write it down, I'll make a movie about that topic. It's very easy. The questions are out there. You don't need to invent the content. And the second thing, good example of Velocify, they have about 1 million subscribers. What they do is they actually they publish videos with intros and outros for YouTube videos. What happens there is that other people are actually sending this guy's content. So they are pushing to be on his channel. That's also a good trick. Get people to produce content for you that you can refurbish and push out. It's pretty hard to do, but if you get there, it's the gold mine, right? 1 million subscribers, I tell you. I know how much this guy made on Google clicks and YouTube. It's a good business, right? So, what happened? And it looks old, but I didn't update the new one. So I started going faster and faster, and you see the peak, by the way, that's weekends, by the way, if you're interested. If you get dips, that's weekends. So don't post anything on a Sunday unless you're doing something specific for a Sunday, but never worked. This is B2B, my friends, that answers the questions of the gentleman in the back. I got large peaks, and then you see this gap. Interestingly, I put it on all social, and I forgot to add the button, click here for information. So lesson 1, put the button, right? And then it keeps going. You have holiday coming. Normally I expected a dip. I started doing sales tips. Now we really moved it up several levels with really high-end speakers, because in the beginning speakers don't want to come to you. Yeah, they first want to see if you're doing well, and they want to feel they want to trust you. Authority, credibility. They don't know you. They want to. Is this guy good? Is he gonna be an ugly movie? Because I want it to be quality. So I focused a lot on quality so I could get these guys in my show, right? So move away from being sales to be relevant. And actually, people will come to you. So you don't have to sell anymore. They come to you. You have a completely different discussion, right? That's the thing you need to do to sell more. So some very handful tips and tricks. I don't know why people don't do it, but just show what you do. I do this whole day. I'm explaining, I'm drawing, I'm making lots of noise. We started taping that. Me explaining stuff. And this is just, you should see the sides. It's like really ugly. This is just a blackboard with chalk. Very simple, beautiful image, focuses the eye. Next thing was, do some crazy stuff. That's with Marnik. Tips and tricks. I would do a lot of credit giving. I would add Peter, I would have people, I would post that on social, I would really get people to do. People like it. The other thing that people like, What's not in here is vanity. Everybody's proud. Everybody wants to be a star. I use that a lot. I play with that because you do video, it's hard to make. We all know it's hard to make, so that is why you should do it, because your competitor is not doing it. Right? Last steps, build a brand. Really big companies build brands. So what's working, if you look into the world, there's a lot of around entrepreneurship. Tell the story. Don't even create stuff, document what's going to happen. I've done this, I've been speaking at YouTube. It's a cool story actually. Not a lot of people are able to do that. Also, share your thoughts, get the audiences, and the other thing, use is trust. If people start watching, you know they start trusting you. So that means you are becoming an authority in your field. So, the main message I want to give today is start now. Walk out, do something, try it, see what happens, and then iterate and get it into production. Now, you know, I'm a sales guy, and sales, well, they're used for manipulating. I don't call it manipulating and lying. I call it, it's just a different kind of truth. So I kind of lied in the beginning. I said it's a lake. It's not a lake, it's actually sea. It's really bad. But if you just use half of a tip that I've done and you just walk out and make your first movie, I'm absolutely sure you are going to ride that wave. And you'll see it's going to be an amazing story. So, clearly, you need to subscribe to this channel because this type of story I am telling, and it's called youtube.com Chaomatic. Keep following it. It's going to be great. Last thing before I leave, I just want to give you one more advice. May the sales be with you. Thank you.